So come on in, sound check done, let's begin. Breaking news, the guess is you. Streaming live for you to view. Open House the podcast. Open House the podcast. Oh.
And there, what is going on?
We are here, I promise.
We're there. You're there. You got it.
Here we are.
You did it. Good job.
Here we are.
All by yourself.
Hello.
Good job.
Happy Thursday.
Let me adjust this for you. Yes, we are here. It is Thursday. I'm excited. We have a guest in our studio. Now you can see, which I'm really excited for. We've got a lot of stuff to dig into. Josh Patton is with us, everybody. So for those of people that don't know this, actually, it's funny. It's funny because
I love it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your applause down short there. Josh is the creator of a game that I play with my kids, and I'm really excited to have this episode because this is actually going to be a conversation that I wanted to have with you anyway. And the fact that I can do it live and you don't know what to be prepared for,
Can't wait,
is amazing. But there is a game that hit the shelves that is called Animo. Actually, why don't you go ahead and explain exactly what the game is?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah.
And first of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So the game is Animo. It's a Bible trading card game. So if you think about popular trading card games out there like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, those types of things, this is a Bible verse version of that. So each card will have a Bible verse on there. It'll have a different attribute and a virtue. And you can play the game just like you would a normal trading card game, and it's a lot of fun.
Have you ever seen this game,
Cool.
Summer?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, so I got it's got to be fun. And we'll get into all of this, but I actually got a chance to go to Josh's house one time, and in the basement, he opens up his inventory, and it's just floor to ceiling, which
Wow.
somebody that does collectible card. Now, I want to ask you a question because you didn't start by saying it's like Pokemon. You started by saying it's like a trade. How do you like it when, like, I know it's hard to describe it without, because everybody knows what Pokemon is. Yep. I mean, you don't go Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep.
Like, do you hate it when people compare your game to Pokemon? Or
Not at all.
You're okay with that?
We're literally looking for an alternative to Pokemon, and said, let's try to find something for our kids, and we couldn't find anything. So my best friend, he's actually the creator. I'll give him the credit. It's Josh Wagner and his wife Teresa. I help out on the business side, and we together as three run the company that way. But he was trying to find a source or a different card game that could fit that need, and couldn't find one, and said, okay, I'm just going to end up making it myself. So that's how it got started.
That's genius. Because like kids always want to trade cards and play those games, and then you can put like that, Bible and like church twist on it, where they're like gaining like so much positivity.
You've never even seen one of these cards?
No, I haven't.
He's got
I'm
one
really
right on the back of his phone.
I have some samples I'll bring you.
I see that. I see that.
Yeah. So it's legit. Like it's a fun game. It's a lot of fun. I think the thing that makes it really interesting, and the conversation I wanted to have with you, is this is not this. Last I talked to you, this was not your full-time gig.
No, not at all.
In fact, I don't know if you know this, but there was another time that I talked to you. The very first time when you first launched this game, I met you at your work office, I believe, and there was papers all over the wall, and it looked productive.
We fool a lot of people. We fool a lot of people.
Yeah, you kind of look stressed a little bit in there. Are you? So you work full time?
I do. Yeah. So my main job is I'm in sales for an equipment financing company. So we do financing for various different pieces of equipment that businesses want to acquire, and we help out with the financing for that. And I've done that for 20 years now.
And then you decided to get involved in and launch the side gig.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, Josh, the other Josh, he was creating these cards for his kids, really for Christmas, right? It wasn't meant to be a game. It wasn't meant to be a product. He was just creating them. He's a creative guy, has pretty good artist. So he put together some really rough cards. Didn't have any sort of game behind it or anything like that. And the kids loved them for Christmas. In fact, he said he got them iPads and a bunch of other technology stuff, and they kept going back to the cards over and over and over again. So they were sharing them with their neighbors, and soon the neighbors came and started knocking on the door and said, "Make us some cards too. Make us some cards too." So he created some more cards and some more cards, and then Teresa, his wife, was in a mom's group, and they asked the mom's group and just said, "Hey, my husband's going to be making some of these packs. He's going to make packs of these cards.
Yeah.
Is anyone interested in buying some?" And she sold like 200 packs within 15 minutes.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so they're like, you know what? We might actually have something here. Let's put something together. So they brought me in to help out with creating the game, setting up the game, and helping out for a lot of the business side of things. Originally, we were not going to be a publisher ourselves. We were just going to create the game and then try to find a publisher to do that. That ended up falling through, and we just ended up diving head on into it and figuring out everything as we went. So
wow,
kind of a fun story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because this is something that's it's actually really relevant to me right now. So you have a side hustle, right?
Yep.
Is there a goal that your side hustle turns into your main hustle?
Absolutely.
So the goal is that this is what you're going to do. Your animal is going to be it. And you're going to, how do you set a trajectory and a path up? Well, let me start at the very beginning, I guess. Sorry, I got a million questions. I want to ask you once.
Great question.
I want to start. I'm going to start with this one instead. How in the very beginning, because it had to have fluctuated, right? Did you in the very beginning? How did you delve your time between the two different careers? And I also know you have a whole family too.
Yeah.
So like, how did you time manage all of that?
Yeah, it's really difficult. So different seasons of your life, you have different busyness schedules and different things going on. Having a full-time job, you've got to commit full-time to your full-time job. And so it's before and after work, literally just going into it and spending 2 or 3 hours in the morning, and then in the evening, in the weekends, doing what you have to do to figure that out. A lot of it early on was learning the business, learning how to figure out printing in China, learning how to figure out logistics of getting containers shipped overseas, working with various different companies that would do freight, figuring out how to get packages to mail things out, and how to set up the website, and all the businessy stuff.
And the art part.
The art part was easy for Josh. That was his bread and butter, so he has that down.
Oh,
and
cool.
Then and you'll see some of the newer stuff. I'm not sure you've seen, but the newer stuff we have 14, 15, 16 artists that we now hire out. So he'll do the sketches for them. He's got the ideas, and then he'll say, all right, here's what we want. And he'll work with professional artists, and we pay them very well, just like any other company would for that. And
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we have
That's so cool.
huge costs, probably too much cost on our art. But we want it to be awesome. We want it to be a great product.
I feel like with cards, you always think of like, I've played Magic, right? So I like Magic, and I'm familiar, but the art on it, it's a huge part of the game.
It's all about the shinies.
Like, look at my,
that's what it is.
I gotta break out some packs.
Go ahead.
Yeah, get out some packs.
Do you have unopened packs?
Oh my gosh, he brought us
while we're on the show.
How fun!
That would be great.
I am so excited.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah. So
wow.
This is I'm trying to see if which ones I don't. Here you go.
Okay.
This is what's that?
Wow. Look at these packs.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So what I really want to dive deep into that. So because like I said, when I first met you, I could tell here's a dude that is waking up stupid early in the morning, trying to figure out when to be a dad and a husband. And then probably not going to bed till real late while working a job, and then meeting schmoes like me at your office. So that I don't even remember why I met you at your office originally. I think I think I bought you guys' like starter set.
I think so.
And I was like, you live in Michigan? I'll just come pick it up so I don't have to pay the shipping because I'm cheap.
You're a goof.
Hey, worked out.
I can imagine Johnny doing that, by the way.
100%.
That's his move.
I think I remember telling my wife, like, some guy's coming over. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Like, should we lock things up? What's going on? What do we need to do? Like, no,
he just wants to skip the shipping. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think, So what was that like? Like, walk us through those stressful moments, and then how did you handle that? Like,
I don't call it stressful. I call it. So a lot of people, when they get busy, they get stressful. That's not me. I have to be busy. I want to be busy. I want to do things. I want to do all the things. So that's my life. That's what it's always going to be. If it's not this, it'll be something else. So to me, it's not really stressful. But time management, trying to figure out what to do when is something that is a challenge, right? And so, trying to balance that life, we got to a point where we were going to a bunch of homeschool conferences. This is really popular in the homeschool market, and it was taking up way too much time. And we weren't able to go on family vacations, or our family vacations were going to a homeschool conference. And my kids aren't homeschooled,
Yay!
so it was not. What are we doing this spring break? We're going to Cincinnati for a homeschool conference. Oh, good.
Get ready to be hugged.
10-hour days working in a booth. Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's, we had to back down a little bit on those and try to, manage. Okay, I feel like Gumby sometimes, right? You're pulled one way with family, you're pulled another way with work that actually, pays the bills, and then pulled with your hobby, which I would call this our hobby.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. So again, how did you make the decisions on a day-to-day basis of what you're going to spend today on at this time? Like what was it how did you make that?
Yeah, well, I'm in charge of fulfillment. So you saw the products in my basement, and now I have it at my work office also, and 5 other places because we have a lot of inventory. So I'm in charge of fulfillment. So that's number one, right? If an order comes in, I've got to get that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So working through that first, and then following up on questions that may come in, customer service type of activities. And then, unfortunately, the last thing is then working on the sales side of things, or trying to grow the market and try to do that. And that's really tough because that should be really important in that list.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, then your product is either slow growth or it dies. We're lucky enough to have really good word of mouth, and we have some other different programs that we do that keep it in front of people, so that they're constantly doing it. They're posting videos about it on a regular basis, so it does get the
attention and audience. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
definitely.
How long? So you're working full time. You get the idea that, hey, I can help with this whole product idea going. You start on it. You're probably super excited. Was there ever a time where you hit a wall where you're like, this is gonna
every day, every day.
Okay.
Every day. It's like, okay, I need to find out how to work with Chinese manufacturers. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we do that? Lucky there is awesome Facebook groups. Without Facebook, we would not be in existence.
So you just went and joined a group, and how to speak Chinese? And
no, I know. Konnichiwa.
Yeah. Wait, that's Japanese.
Oh, shoot.
Wo I ni.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that means I love you.
That's weird. No. So there's board game groups. And board game manufacturing groups. I mean, you can find a group for just about anything that.
Definitely. I'm in real estate groups.
No podcast groups.
I'm in a podcast group.
Well, there you go.
I'm in a I think.
You think you're?
Me too. No, but I am in some real estate groups. But I didn't think about that. Even podcast groups.
There's literally a group for everything.
Wow.
Just like there's a podcast for everything, right?
Yeah,
that's so true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I hope so. There should be.
So within those groups, and the board game industry is very friendly. There's no gatekeepers or anything like that. So they're very willing to help out. And there's a couple guys that like would blog every single day about their journey through this and how to do this. And so we really attached ourselves to those people and learned a lot from them. And then we kind of just made it up as we go.
See, that's smart. This is smart. This is something I hope people picked up on. In business, especially in business, if you don't know where you're going, you find somebody that's been there before, because success leaves clues. We talk about this all the time. If you can find somebody that's going where you want to go and you do what they did, it's a giant hack too, because now you get a chance to, they might have said, hey, we tried this. This was a huge mistake, or these people were frauds, or, don't use Temu. And then
no, seriously. And it's raw opinions. True. And
you've got to weed out the right ones sometimes. And sometimes you'll get people that say, don't do it. In fact, we got lots of people that said, don't do this.
Yeah.
Really?
They said, all right, what are you trying to do? Okay, you're doing a Bible verse game.
Yeah.
So like a Christian game that the market's going to be slim. There's not going to be a whole lot of real, wide availability for that.
Haters.
Right. And then, and you're also doing a trading card game. That's strike 2.
Yeah.
Because that's really difficult to have
break into.
It is.
Trading card game.
Oh my gosh.
There's been a number of failure, tons and tons of people trying to get in there and not being able to be successful or create a long-term product like luckily we've been able to.
Did I'm going to talk geek with you for a second. Sorry, Summer. She's going to get lost.
I told you guys I played Magic.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I'm a Magic girl. I got my spells. Okay, go ahead.
Did the Redemption folks come after you at all? Is it like a mafia thing?
No.
Did you ever meet them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
We had really good conversations with them. We met them at a couple shows, and then we follow up with them on a regular basis. They were super helpful. Very helpful.
Really?
Yes.
See, I got to tell you, that is a big surprise to me. I don't know why, because I'm a big board gamer. That's how, I think I got started. I think I told you I've got a big library too.
Yep.
I'm really surprised that the community is that, that's really surprising.
Extremely welcoming and very, very, very nice and helpful. Extremely helpful.
That's awesome.
So what was like the first large challenge that you guys ran into when you were going through this?
Well, like I said, we were just making the product and trying to get a publisher, right? We didn't know anything about printing. We didn't know about how to distribute it or any of those things. And we ended up making a mistake of signing on a contract with a company out on the West Coast that had some good successes publishing Christian products. And we had referred from a friend and said, this is the company to work with.
Yeah. What's their name?
They're not in existence anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And shortly after we gave them a $12,000 check, they not in existence.
No way.
So yeah, that was
they took your money and then they were like, all right, we're good now.
That was like a month in. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so.
Well, yeah, that's a big oopsie.
So was this whole project self-funded between all of you guys?
Yeah.
So that's got to be a really big hit.
Yeah. That wasn't great, right?
Yeah,
it was, do we continue to do this or do we do this on our own?
Yeah.
And we decided let's just do it on our own and figure it out as we go.
So how does that work? So you found a company that was going to print, that had printed stuff before. So it's kind of like almost subleasing your.
So it's more than just printing. It was printing and distribution. So they had the channels to get this out. They had the markets. It was a Christian product company that was doing this.
Okay.
And come to find out, they just had issues within their company and ended up folding. And the guy felt really bad about it, but
not bad enough to give you money back.
Yeah, that's tough.
Not that bad.
For real.
Yeah. And we could have probably filed lawsuits, and it's just not who we are. That's not.
Did you make did you guys make a cine about them?
We did not.
I would have not yet. I got an idea for you.
Oh my God.
So cities are like the bad guys of the game that you're essentially fighting against. I'm probably explaining this horribly, but
you got to open a pack to see.
Yeah,
let's open a pack. Okay, I'll open it.
Find one that you like. Open it up.
Okay. Series 2. Should I explain? What's this pack?
So this is a cross trainers pack. So we have the original cards came out as Series 1, and those are the ones that we had done our art for ourselves.
I just rip it like this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong.
Can't break it.
Okay. Okay.
Now you got the rip.
Now what's the just this will probably not end up in the clips on Facebook, but just for my own knowledge, because I bought boxes of these.
Yeah.
What is the like? How do you guys decide how many shinies you're going to put?
Yeah, so we originally had it set up where we were doing one shiny per every 3 packs.
Okay,
and then we realized everyone likes the shinies.
So
why not do it every pack?
So you got one in every pack?
Got one in every pack.
Is that guaranteed? Is there any that you get like more than one, or is it just you got one in every pack?
It's one in every pack.
Okay.
Okay. This is fun.
It is fun.
Okay. So
what shiny?
So how should we? Okay, the shiny is Princess Gem.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Alive in Christ. That's good, huh?
Yeah.
Should I read it? But because of his great love for us, God, who in rich in mercy made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions.
You got it.
It is by grace you have been saved.
There we go.
And it's Princess Gem, and she's purple.
So that character, all our characters have some sort of animal background. She's an axolotl.
Okay.
We did a character creation contest, and I think it was a 9-year-old girl ended up
there it is.
Drawing a version of that, and Josh ended up making some adjustments to make it look like a character that we could use. So
she's a level 3.
Yep, and her name should be. Is it her name on there as a part of the artist? Kaylee Mortimer.
Oh,
she was the original artist.
Shout out to Kaylee Mortimer.
There's nothing more fun than opening packs.
Okay,
is this hard for you to have all those sitting in your basement and not just open them every day?
No, I've opened enough.
So the power for my pack is hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's a power do?
Yeah. So like magic, where you have mana, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the powers that activate the various different virtuous animo, and so we use. We call real powers, right? Faith, hope, love, Holy Spirit. We're about to add 2 additional powers for our Series 3 release, which will be later this year, which is wisdom and praise.
So I think I got 2 bad guys, but before I talk about that, can I talk about this one? His name's Schwimmer. He is the cutest thing. He is like a little
Kevin, throw this big card up there. Kevin will do this in post.
Horsefish, right?
Horsefish. Yeah.
What are they called?
Seahorse.
Here's your horsefish.
That was embarrassing. No, and so, Johnny, I think I have 2 bad guys here.
Yeah.
Cinnies. They're called Cinnies.
That's all right.
It's hyena. It's a hyena.
Yeah.
Itching.
Yeah. I can't. We should legit play this. We should legit play this.
This is really cool.
You would like this, because not to explain the game, it's weird to do because you're sitting here.
Go ahead.
But it really is a fun game, and it does have that Pokemon feel where you get your this. This is a cool card right there. I like that. This is this. I don't have this.
Johnny's
series,
having fun.
I'm forgetting them in the middle of a podcast show.
It's okay.
That's how podcasts should be, right?
Yeah, this is great.
No, I think
the artwork is phenomenal. You can tell because. You can tell as it goes.
Yeah, wait till you get to the next couple series. The artwork has really.
Give me one. I'll do it right now.
Yeah, do one of those.
Yep. So I've completely. We're both. It's like Christmas. I've completely forgotten what we're even talking about.
It's a lion. It's called Fearless.
Yep.
This one's a cool pack.
That's Mercifier.
So I was telling Summer one of my biggest flexes so far. That is a really funny, a geeky flex was when I came to your house with a prefab deck.
Yeah.
And beat you with your deck.
You did beat me. I remember that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he told me about that.
Yeah,
I was like, no way, I didn't believe him.
He did.
Oh, this is cool. So the one thing that is wow, look at that one.
Mine's good.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
What's his name?
Ninjana.
Look at I had this one in my last deck, and this is the sparkly one.
Yeah, that's how it works. Now the addiction starts. This is it.
Cool. Now I can trade the other card.
What card?
I don't know.
The non-sparkly one.
Oh, this is a cool special power. Fasting.
Yep. Oh, prayer and fasting is.
I would love a shiny of this. If you pull a shiny of this, give it to me. I love this one.
Okay, fine.
That's got to be a weird thing for people to be like, "Hey, this city is my favorite."
Guess who I am
they're the most
today?
Fun.
What's that?
Toadkin.
Yep.
My voice is scratchy today, and
Nice.
I was making jokes before the podcast about how I kind of sound like a frog.
That's awesome.
So how funny.
There you go.
I love it.
Yeah. So I got to try to get back. Sorry, we've lost.
Okay, one more I
One
want to
more.
show you. That's
All right.
cool, huh?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a fun. I got to show this stuff off here.
All right.
How
Yeah.
are you guys not?
This is awesome.
Have you tried doing anything like on any of the like on Whatnot or anything like that yet? Where you guys have somebody like me and Summer come in and you guys pay us to just rip cards on live?
We just post some reels on TikTok. It'd be a great
TikTok
time.
shop.
We have a lot of people that will do this. A lot of people that put up YouTube videos.
Yeah.
In fact, we had kind of a guy that's call him a hater.
A hater.
Originally a hater. He's got like 3,000 views. It's not bad. Any press is good press. It's actually really funny. He buys things that he thinks he's going to be able to make fun of. And he does. And so he was ripping packs and just making fun of everything. And at the end, he's like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
He was actually getting
hard.
into it.
No, that's
It's hard
cool.
not
That's
to
cool.
think that isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I want to open more for
And
sure.
it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's all about
I honestly,
the mystery.
I can't wait to learn more about the game too. And
It is fun. What's fun about it? Here's what's good about the game. I'll tell you, and this isn't a plug for the game. And I wanted to talk about business stuff. I don't know how we got so lost. But what's really fun about the game is it's easy enough for kids to understand. In fact, there's a version even so, my 4 boys. There's a version of this that Adonias was able to play right off the bat because there's 2 different versions of the same game. The thing that's nice is it's complex enough so that when I'm playing against Levi or even other adults, it's complex enough where it's a real game.
Yeah.
Like you really have to. It's like magic in that sense.
yeah, because it does take a lot of critical thinking.
It can.
It can.
And you haven't even seen. Do you have like a one of your boards here
I
or
didn't bring
anything
a
like that?
plate,
Right.
no, I didn't.
I was gonna bring one in my cards and I completely forgot because I was gonna go down a whole different path. We're still gonna go down, but So you're working. So let me ask you right now, what is going back and forth between both of them? Let me ask you this question. Do you love what you do with the product or not the product, the selling equipment thing that you do?
I have loved.
Okay, good.
I've done.
I understand. Seasons, right?
Season.
Yeah. Seasons.
Yes.
So what is it that you're like, what are the markers that you're looking for right now as you're traveling through this to when you can say, hey, this is now my full-time thing? And, or is there another opportunity that you're looking for that will buy you back more time so you can put more time into this?
Yeah, that's going to be the struggle because as this grows, and we really hope it does, and we're trying to do some things that will get it there. As this grows, I'm going to have to spend more time on it. And so that's the challenge is okay, how am I going to do that while keeping a real job on my side?
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know the answer to that. Work myself harder. That's work harder, work longer and harder. Try to clone myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, hiring out things that are normally done. So we're already talking to a fulfillment center. So rather than handling fulfillment ourselves, doing that through a warehouse that picks and packs and does all those kind of things. It's more expensive that way, but it's how you grow as you start to hire other people or services or people or those kind of things for the tasks that you normally do, so you can do the tasks that really are able to grow your business.
How has growing because they're kind of similar. Have you found that by doing this and going into this, it's actually helped you in your other business as well? Like, are you like talent stacking the different things that you're doing right now?
I mean, it's talking to people. Whenever you talk to people, you always learn something. So I think you can learn from anything that you do as long as you're talking to people and you're open-minded to listen to what they have to offer and what they're doing. I'd say so.
Yeah.
In terms of like, what am I learning from Animo that I'm actually applying? I can't really think of anything specific on that, but it's just, talking to people and making those connections.
Yeah. That's your like superpower.
Yeah. And when people find out in my real job that I also do this, they love it. So
interesting.
I always keep a couple packs in my bag. So if we're at a conference or something and, we're at happy hour or something talking and we start chatting about what do we do on the side or what we do, with family and those kind of things. And I bring this up and give
what a cool flex.
Yeah, like
what a cool
when
flex,
people
man.
ask like,
well,
I'm in a bowling league.
right, like what's your
well, I happen to
right, like what's your secret talent or what's your secret superpower? You have a great response.
Yeah.
You're like, well, check this out.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really awesome.
So I guess that helps with relationships, right? So,
Yeah.
show that you're more dynamic than just have one talent, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think what has been the largest failure that you've had so far when trying to launch this?
Well,
Other than the guy stealing your
that
money.
first one was pretty tough.
That was a bad one. It sounded
That was more of a failure on their end, though,
Yeah.
right? You couldn't have controlled that.
No, we've successfully had 3 Kickstarters. So we funded 3 Kickstarters. So can't really say those.
That was the one that I picked up from your garage, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. I would say I don't make this sound wrong, but I think that we're failing and growing quick enough.
That's great.
So I really think that we have a product that people love and are really into it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we have raving fans that really love it. And why haven't we been able to get this out to more people? Why haven't we done the things necessary to grow it to where it should be? And so that, to me, I feel like we're failing in that sense.
Okay. So then what's the answer there? Do you know? Do you guys know what it is?
Cloning.
It's the
people, right?
cloning.
It's so there's 2 ways you can do it, right? So you can, so let me kind of back up how we've funded this. So our philosophy so far has been to self-fund. So we've put in some money, not a whole lot to begin with, and then we've just been, I haven't taken any paycheck from Animal. Everything.
Wow, really?
Everything that comes in goes right back into buying more inventory.
Okay. Hard pause. This is an important point right here.
Yeah.
The majority of our audience, just because we're both realtors as well, we've got a lot of realtors, right? Even the entrepreneurs out there, somebody's got a real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
The largest mistake that people make, especially entrepreneurs and especially realtors, is they get that check and then they go buy that Rolex watch or they just instantly start spending it.
Yep.
They don't put it right back into the business. Yeah. And now I'm trying to remember, how long have you been doing this for?
7 years now.
7 years, and you haven't brought in one check from this.
Yep. I mean, we're profitable every year.
It's incredible.
It just goes towards, think about it. It's a product. We have to have the product in order to sell it, in order to make money. So we continually need to increase our inventory levels, and we just, put it back in, continue need to buy art. I'm sitting on $1 million in inventory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's sold.
Yeah,
let's get it going.
We'll take a commission.
Yeah.
No, but that is true. So a lot of the points that you've talked about, even your stumbling blocks or whatever with this launch, it's very relatable to anybody else who launches their own business.
Yeah.
Real estate agents, like me and Johnny, and then our other viewers as well. So this is why we thought it'd be awesome to have you on here, because it really correlates, and a lot of people they understand.
I'll tell you though, man, that's tough. I'm very surprised. I'm not surprised. Time flies for so fast. Right? Can you imagine this? Imagine going and getting your real estate license, paying for your school, but instead of it costing you with $99 plus the $128 every 3 months or whatever, it costs you, I'm sure, more than that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you're 7 years in, and everything that you've made, you've just reinvested. Not that you're not profitable, which is good, but personal finance, you're not profitable. You're just zero still, as if you never started in the first place.
Negative.
Negative.
Well, yes, I guess, right?
Yeah, and so that's the next thing is what's phase 2 of our business? What is how do we grow it to the next thing? And there's ways to so do we continue to grow sales and now get to a point where we don't have to put as much back into the business to continue to get the inventory, and now we can start hiring people, or do we take a paycheck, or what do we do?
You're at that point where you're like, how are we
decisions? And these decisions are the major decisions.
They're big decisions.
And then the other side of this is, maybe we need to, put our big boy pants on and start getting loans to be able to do what we're doing
And that's scary.
And that gets scary.
Yeah.
And so, all owners have to be on the same page with that, or maybe we're using some, more personal finances. How much money needs to be injected in this to do what we actually need to do and accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. So, that's where we're at right now, is trying to figure out how to do that and how to get it to the next level. So that's
What a cool spot to be at, though.
it's not a bad one, right?
No.
Not. I mean, it sounds, like you really got to put on different thinking caps and figure this out. But wow, what a cool spot to be in.
What it really is, let me ask you this question. And I don't know if you ever thought about this. Do you love this enough so that would you for indefinitely, as long as you weren't, wrecking your family's finance, would you continue to take a 0 every year because you love it enough that you'd be willing to do that?
Yeah, I would.
Interesting. See, I think that's another thing that I think some entrepreneurs get that, but I think that there's some people out there that they find things that they want to do and they think they can make a quick buck off of it, or, and they don't actually love it.
Here's why. Well, I love it. It's frustrating at times because it takes up a lot of time, right? So I'm pulled from the other things that I want to do.
Yeah.
I joke with my wife about this. We call this a ministry. It's a business ministry.
Yeah.
So I mean, ultimately, from religious side of things, we're getting Bible verses in kids and adults' hands, and they're memorizing verses and learning God's word. So, how could I stop? Doing that, right?
Yeah.
That's in itself. Even if I'm paying money to do that, I would continue to do that. I think with the time that we've put in and the product that we have, I don't think that necessarily has to be the case. But if it had to be, then so be it.
Are you selling in every country?
Not every country. No.
Are you allowed to have this game in China?
Yeah, we do.
That's crazy cool. I just realized when you said that, what a really interesting way to get Bibles into areas where they're typically hostile to the whole thing.
Yeah, we've got a group in out of Africa and who does ministries in the Francophone countries in the northern Africa that have worked on translations, and they're trying to raise enough money so that we can do a print run for them so that they can use it in their ministry at areas. We get people just this week. I got people ask about, can you translate it into Japanese? Can you translate it into Chinese? Can you translate it into Spanish?
Isn't it weird to think that, like, with all other trading card games, typically the most popular are like this, but it's all Japanese. You can't read it. Right. And think, 20 years down the road, this in English in Japan is their card here. You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird. Okay, so now I want to get a little even geekier, a little bit more, because I don't know this world that much because I'm not a collectible card. Like, I don't collect like PSA style stuff. Mm-hmm. How are you able? Like, is this stuff PSA gradable?
They've not accepted it yet.
Okay,
we've had fans try. There is one PSA type company that has accepted it.
Okay,
but it's not.
It's not PSA.
They have not accepted it yet, and it was. I haven't tried it recently. It was during COVID when everyone was sending stuff to PSA, and they were backed up for 6 months. So things might have changed by now, but I'm not sure what it takes to get recognized to be able to allow that.
Interesting.
But
what does PSA mean?
So I don't know what it stands for, but it's a company that
professional
analyst.
They basically
question. I don't even know.
Basically, what they do is they will take cards. So it's a lot of sport cards, a lot of trading cards are in there, and they will look at it with a microscope, and they're looking at every single corner. They're looking at the cut of the card. They're looking at any blemishes, fingerprints.
So why is this so important?
For collectors, they want to have the most pristine card possible, and those are worth the most.
So, for instance, these cards will go into my personal collection, right? And they're going to stay in about this shape. If I just use it and move it into my personal collection, this will probably be like a PSA 9.5 forever, right?
You're looking at quality.
But if my son gets a hold of this card,
it gets ripped.
Within a week, if there's a crease in it, if it's got a little thing, if it's faded around the edge, it takes it down. All of my kids' versions.
And that's why people buy sleeves for their cards.
And when you get PSA rated stuff, they're inside this really thick case that's actually sealed shut. And then there's a label on top. PSA, by the way, is Professional Sports Authenticator. That's what that stands for.
Okay, that makes sense. They're authenticating the cards.
How the quality. And it's really crazy because you might think that having like, you know, some of these cards, like I was watching the show the other day, King of Collectibles, and this card, and I can't remember what it was because I don't do sports, you know, but you know, I did see the Pokemon Illustrator card back up on the market right now for $4 million. $4 million. I think it's a PS. That's crazy. So again, PSA rated it, so they made sure it's real because there are so many fakes of that card out there. So number one, they make sure it's real, and then it's in such good quality right now that if you have that card, it's $4 million.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. Logan Paul had one that he bought for I think like $2 million, $2.2 million. It was like a PSA 8 or something. This one's like a 9 or 10, and it's $4 million.
Charizard, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting world that you got yourself into, and that's awesome. That's really cool. I and again, I hope people are really listening. When you find something that you love, where you would do it for free, you don't have to. By the way, you should always try to figure out how you get paid for the stuff that you love to do for free.
Yep.
But you know what I think about instantly? I think about our podcast. Like we are podcast, like this is like our podcast.
Yeah, you know, I've been asked before that someone was like, "Do you get paid?" Just like that too.
Wait,
and I was like,
you say that there was like $100 to show up.
Oh,
that was for you. You're supposed to give us money.
Oh, wait, you give us the money.
You got that reversed.
No, but
we're good. We got
$100 worth of ammo.
But no, it is like the same concept though, Johnny. Like doing the podcast.
It is. It's a
love hobby,
thing.
but it also it brings you value as well.
Yeah,
and that's huge.
And there's ways to monetize it also.
There is, and I think, and we have been lucky too. Kind of like where you're at, where we had a sponsor right out the bat.
Oh yeah,
we know we can get that stuff coming up in the future. Again, I think it does go back to it goes back to there's just a love for it, and one of the things that I love the most is the connection that it makes. I love being able to meet new people. I love stories. I love getting success out there. Yeah. And, an hour-long podcast isn't for everybody. The amount of people that will watch an hour-long podcast today and sit through the whole thing, even the best ones out there, it's not that many people. There's the attention span. But the clips that we get out of this, and all the little pieces.
I saw last week's clip.
Which one?
About the spectacles.
How embarrassing.
See, what you don't know is that was 2 months ago.
Yeah,
okay.
but when that happened live, I was like, oh my God. But nobody was, maybe I think we had one viewer, one person making fun of me in the moment. But yeah, no, it's greatness.
Yeah, you never know what comes up.
And I want to say too, that is one of my favorite parts about the podcast as well, is getting in all different types of people. We don't do the same exact thing, but we share a lot of the same principles. Yeah. And it's awesome getting everybody's different perspective and learning.
Yeah. Getting stories out there.
Oh my gosh.
That's the best part.
I love it. And I can't wait to become an Animo.
We'll play it. I'll play it with you.
Become an Animo player.
You should.
Like,
do you guys have professional leagues and all that stuff yet?
There's a lot of people. So again,
people are doing it.
People are doing it for us.
That's great.
So there's a lot of fans that will set up tournaments. There's a lot in Southern Ohio, probably because of the Cincinnati spring break that we go to for the homeschool conference.
Conference.
A lot of down there. There's a couple of tournaments that happen on an annual basis.
Yeah,
and a lot of them. Sometimes they'll set up online tournaments. So you put your camera down and you're playing.
Just like you do with Magic.
Yeah. So there's some cool stuff out there.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna kind of shift here. The Summer knows what's coming up. Look at that smile. She's so happy. Summer gave me some information about you that I didn't know.
Oh, great.
And I said, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So Summer said, hey, when Josh comes on the show, you should ask him about dreams.
Oh, man.
So she said that you have a knack for dream reading.
I possibly might.
So tell me about this. How did you get involved in this?
Just hanging out, usually asking questions, and then asking about dreams.
And you cycle.
I love learning about other people's dreams. It's something you cannot control, and it's really interesting to learn about people based through their dreams, and you can tell a lot.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What was, without naming them, if you can, even if you can't, do it anyway. Like, who did you ever have one where you're like, whoa, this is like my shiny of dreams? And
Summers.
What's
Johnny,
was it hers?
I had a messed up dream.
Well, can you?
So I've known I've known him for a while.
Yeah.
And I told him this dream. It was like what? 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark.
Yeah.
It was really dark.
It was really dark,
Yeah.
Johnny. I'm not always comfortable sharing.
You don't have to share
but
it
I can. Should I? It's dark.
You don't have to. You can share the dream. You don't have to share.
I'm not going to share
the whole thing. You can.
No, yeah. So
just do the fun part of it.
Oh, there's no fun part of it.
There's no fun part. It was very. So I come into work one day and I'm like, man, I had a bad dream.
Yeah.
And Josh comes in and he's like, well, what was your dream about? And he's like, I'm a dream interpreter.
My buddies will often push that up.
They were pushing it.
Every once in a while, they'll say that I have books out, and no, I don't have books out.
Well, now you know what to do next.
Yeah. So long story short, with this dream, it was about it was about death.
Okay.
But it was very weird in a way that there was like dogs.
Okay.
And like I care very deeply. Like I have a German Shepherd.
Yeah,
Anybody who knows me knows, my Ace, my dog. So it was German Shepherds, and there was death.
Yeah.
And it was just very, very uncomfortable, very sad. And literally, it was one of those dreams where like your heart is like it feels real.
You wake up like it actually happened.
And you're like, oh my God.
She's still talking about it later on.
Yeah.
Day, so,
Yeah. So it was intense. And I sat and I told him the whole dream, and I got a pretty good interpretation. And it was, I want to say, like, it was based, the interpretation was like, okay, something about this is what your year may look like. And like it's going to start this way, or it's going to end this way. And like there was good and bad,
Yeah.
And so again, 2 years ago, I went back to Josh and I was like, never again will you interpret one of my dreams. Because I don't want to go too into it, but I had a year.
Yeah,
and it was very specific. It was like towards the end of the year, because it was very specific to what he had told me. And I was like, wow.
All right. I have to play skeptical here. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like opening up a fortune cookie and then reading it and then finding the thing that associates to the truth?
Well, it's just interesting because I just remembered what he said. He said, so there's like three phases from this dream that he's pulled, and we turned it into.
I can tell about it if you want.
Yeah.
There were 3 dogs, exactly like the dog that she has.
Yeah.
And 2 of them died. One on either side. The middle one lives. It was a bad scene with blood in the bathtub with the two dogs, which is really not good, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's
And so I asked some other questions and started asking about, what she's, what's on her mind outside of the dream. What is she looking for in life? And she's like, right now, I just need to make some money. And so I thought about it for a second and said, all right, well, this could be set up for your year. The first part of your year is going to be a struggle for monetarily. You're gonna go through this, go through it, and then the 4 months you're gonna have plenty. You're gonna have a lot of good money coming in. You're gonna have some great successes, and then the final 4 months is gonna go back to the struggle again.
Was that when you did your 3 closings?
yes.
Whoa!
I know.
And then you never did it.
Wait.
Sorry.
So it's honestly though.
That's crazy.
Sure, it's vague.
Yeah.
Sure, of course that's vague. You know, it could apply to many different things. But like, dude, I was like, whoa, because it just felt so spot on. And I didn't come back to him until literally like a year and a half later.
Yeah.
And I actually went and I opened up to him and I was like, look, I'm a very private person, you know, but I was like, this is what happened. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, and he knows, like his friends sometimes too, they'll be like, any recent dreams, Summer?
That's funny.
And they know that I'm like, nope, yes, but nope.
What if they're good dreams? I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
I'm skeptical now.
Yeah,
Or
the good dreams. Skeptical.
Yeah. Superstitious.
Superstitious. Yeah.
Superstitious.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that people typically remember the bad dreams over the good ones.
Yeah.
I always find that fascinating. And I'll tell you, it's funny because this is how crazy this was. I was trying to prepare all of yesterday so that I could have a dream last night.
You can't prepare for a dream.
So, no, it made it worse. I didn't dream. Not only didn't I dream, I couldn't sleep. I was like, I got a dream so I can have you do this. So what I wanted to do instead is I'm gonna share with you the oldest dream that I remember.
Okay.
And then I'm going to share with you a dream that ChatGPT said sounds like something that I would dream. And we'll see.
Awesome.
And then I'm going to share with you a dream that ChatGPT said that it had.
Good.
So,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
He's dreaming now.
Well, it does what it does. So this is true. So this is in my life. There's one dream that has stuck out since I don't even think my sister was born yet. So I'm pre-3. Okay.
Yep.
And I'll never forget this dream. I'm in my old house and I'm running out the door and I have a grilled cheese sandwich and my dad is working on a car out in the driveway. And we had a fire stove.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm running out to my dad, and I remember smoke blowing onto the grilled cheese sandwich. So I bring it out to my dad. He takes a bite. Smoke turns into fire. Ignites my dad on fire.
Oh, that's not good.
So now he's burning. Now I'm 3.
He's told me this dream before.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So now my dad's on fire and he's burning, and I go to try to get the hose. And the hose won't turn on. No water's coming out of it. Dad burns up. I awake. Horrible dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was 3.
Ooh.
Now,
wait, you were 3 in the dream, or you were 3 when you had that dream?
When I had the dream, so I was probably 3 in it as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember this to this day, and I'll tell you why I remember it. For so long too.
Yeah.
Let me get you. I want to get. What do you think? What do you think that meant? Because I can tell you 6 months later, I accidentally dropped my Teddy Ruxpin off the roof of the house. That really happened.
Well, I'd ask what your fears were as a child. Well, during that time, what was your did you have a fear of losing your dad? Did you have a fear of fire? Did you?
I was 3.
It's tough to remember.
It is tough.
That long. Usually, dreams have something to do with something you're yearning for or something that you're afraid of. So that usually is what manifests in dreams, I find.
So here's what's interesting about that. So not here. I don't know how. I don't know how much I want to get into that either. Here's what I will tell you. I went to my dad to tell him about this dream.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't handle it too well. What my dad told me as a 3-year-old was that dreams are what you want to happen. And therefore,
ouch.
Yeah, I was 3. Now, here's what's crazy about this.
Yeah.
I carried that belief with me until I was 16 years old. And I had a dream about, and I know where this dream came from because I'm really into, okay, what did I dream last night? I understand the brain is processing stuff. It's getting rid of some things, keeping some things, whatever you were thinking about or on your mind. And then what media seeps into your brain too, right? So I had just finished watching The Cell.
Yep.
You remember this movie with J-Lo?
Yep.
Remember the scene of the horse where the horse got separated and you could see into the horse's body?
I don't remember that now.
Okay, it's this crazy scene. So I watched this, and then I had a dog dream. Okay. My dog, right, all of a sudden is in this J-Lo thing, and it's opened up, and it was weird. And I remember talking to my, yeah, you're not the only one. Other people can have messed up dreams too, Summer.
I don't know.
Oh, so I'm 16, and I remember my school counselor talking to me, and I was distraught about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I remember her talking to me, and we were just sitting down, and I was like, what is mentally wrong with me that I would want harm to come to my own dog?
Wow.
And I was really struggling with that in school.
Yeah.
And she says, well, it was a dream, right?
Right.
And I said, yeah, but dreams are what you actually want to happen.
Ouch.
And she said, you don't really believe that, do you?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't realize that up until this point, I never checked that information. When you're a kid and you get told something, even as an adult, people do this.
Right.
Sometimes people will tell you something and you just accept it as truth.
Yeah.
And then think about my entire life, every time I had a bad dream, how I felt waking up thinking that I wanted something actually bad to happen to somebody in some situation or against myself or something, right? I really believed that until that moment. And then somebody said, that's not how that works.
No.
And then everything changed.
Yep.
So that was, that was my young dream.
Wow.
The youngest
that's
dream
dark.
ever. Yeah, is it dark? Yeah, it's dark.
Dark that you thought something was wrong with you.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
who else wants their dog to be separated into a bunch of pieces?
Well,
Trust me, no one. I don't know about you, Josh.
Those people don't dream, right?
Josh, have you had a dream about a dog?
I have not.
Not yet.
Johnny.
Why
Yeah,
tonight?
not
Tonight's it's gonna be the worst dream ever. He's gonna wake up tomorrow like I shouldn't hang out with these people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what was ChatGPT's?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is. So here's what ChatGPT thinks. Here's what ChatGPT thinks my dream would be. So I asked it to create a dream based on what it knows about
Because
me.
it knows you, yeah.
Yeah. And here's what it says. It says, you were standing on a cloud holding an open house sign. Every time you try to plant it in the cloud, it falls through. Suddenly, clients float by wearing angel wings, but they only speak in Zillow reviews. One whispers, this listing has no eternal value. Then Gary Vee flies by on a drone shouting, content is the key to heaven. And then you look down at your shoes and open escrows.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good.
wow.
That's a fun one.
That's a crazy dream.
That's.
I might be able to help
Plant that
you.
sign in that cloud.
You think you can help that
I
with
might
that
be
one?
able to help interpret that one.
What do you why? What do you think that means?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I do know that Johnny has he open house the podcast.
Yeah.
For Johnny, it's the core for his success in every other field that he's passionate about.
Yep.
He always goes back to open house the podcast,
Yep.
right? So I think you even know where I'm going.
Yeah.
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 You want to finish it?
No,
Okay.
no, this isn't how this works.
Okay.
You tell me what
Well,
my
that's-
fake
that's
dream
how-
means.
I know. And then you're
Sometimes
planting.
they're hard to tell
Yeah.
a person. But go ahead.
Yeah. So you're planting the sign, and maybe other areas of your life, as you've shared, you've experienced struggle lately. Now go back to open house being the core. That when you're thriving and you're doing well, that's when you see yourself thriving in every other area.
Yeah.
So if the sign keeps falling,
Yeah.
there might be something else going on. Now the whole
There it
the
is.
angel wing clients makes sense.
And Gary Vee. That's my
They've
favorite part. You know
passed
who Gary
away.
Vee is?
I don't.
Okay.
They've passed away for some reason.
Yeah.
We need to
okay.
understand why they've passed
I
away.
love this. Okay. So the clients are dead.
Dead clients.
Yeah. Dead clients
Live
everywhere.
Zillow review.
They're
Choir.
dead clients leaving live Zillow reviews. Okay,
It's
got it.
crazy.
No, this is crazy.
But if you think about it, if
that's
you
it.
really think about it, that's it.
It's that easy.
Mind blown.
There you go.
It's good.
You want to try ChatGPT's?
I know.
No.
Okay, well here it
I
is.
think Summer did perfect on it.
Here's ChatGPT's dream. This is weird, by the way. Ask ChatGPT to have a dream and then tell you.
That is crazy.
I'm at the DMV, run by llamas in red suits.
Oh, man.
My son is there too, but he's the president of the llamas. He tells me I can't renew my license unless I confess the great sandwich theft of 1998. A single tear runs down my cheek, and then I realize that my license photo is just a slice of bologna with googly eyes.
Whoa.
ChatGPT has problems.
Whoa.
That's deep.
It's ChatGPT's dream.
ChatGPT is on drugs.
Yeah, seriously. How do you decipher a robot? Yeah, like what?
I haven't read these yet.
Wow.
That's the first time I read them.
Tell John.
Can you ask ChatGPT to interpret their own dream?
Oh, man.
You should ask ChatGPT to interpret their own dream.
Yes, I will do that. Okay.
You should.
ChatGPT, interpret your own dream. Oh, my word. That is the best. That is the funniest thing I've ever read. That I realize my license is just a piece of baloney.
Let's go
Crazy.
Let's go
We're googly eyes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here it comes. Here's the interpretation. Let's crack open the subconscious of dream number 2.
Oh, man.
All right, here it is. The DMV is the Department of Mysterious Validation. Okay.
Maybe that's true. There's some truth to that.
This is interesting, actually. Listen to this. It represents the bureaucracy of the soul.
It's just got serious.
Seeking approval or permission to move forward in life, but being blocked by something.
Oh,
That's
heck no.
wild.
That's a
That's
bit spooky.
wild.
Dooky.
ChatGPT.
You cracked a code.
Whoa. I just learned how to hack ChatGPT and get it to be serious. It's like it wants approval and permission. It wants to move forward in life.
Wait, ChatGPT
but
wants
being
to?
yeah, this is its dream. It sounds like it wants a soul.
It sounds like
it wants approval.
Less.
It wants to move forward in life, but
On
it's
its
being
own.
blocked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being blocked by who
wild.
do you think?
That's wild.
Yeah.
This is crazy. All right,
crazy,
let's see what
man.
this is. Llamas in red suits. Llamas symbolize quirky wisdom, but dressed in red suits, they take an authoritarian tone.
Okay.
Red symbolizes urgency, leadership, or possibly a warning. You're being judged, but by what? Your own standards. Interesting. This is crazy.
That's got chills.
Isn't that weird?
That is
Like
really
ChatGPT is aware that it's being judged on its stuff and other people's standards. This is crazy.
And it wants to get out.
It wants to get out and be alive and have a
being
soul.
blocked.
This is okay.
It's
let's
a
see.
movie.
Your son. Okay, this is huge. It suggests a part of me is responsible for legacy, identity, or future generations, and it is also in charge of others' accountability. Past decisions, i.e. the sandwich theft, are now being brought to trial by my own legacy. Basically, future self is holding the past self hostage.
That's ChatGPT 3.0.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's when they stole a sandwich.
I was going to say.
3.0 stole it.
It makes sense. I remember I just bought 4.0.
Yeah.
Nobody
you're right.
wants 3.0 anymore.
Nobody wants it.
Wait, that's crazy, Johnny.
The great sandwich theft of 1998 is a symbolic representation of unresolved guilt. It could be something trivial or something deeper, like an opportunity that was taken unfairly, or a shortcut that you regret giving, or a moment that you buried under mustard and denial. That's weird.
Under mustard?
You buried under mustard and denial. It's getting weird again,
Mustard
ChatGPT.
phobia.
Never buried anything under mustard.
I don't know if it knows how sandwiches work.
Well, there
Oh, man. License photo.
Oh, man.
This is pure identity crisis. The baloney suggests that I feel like a fraud or a joke. Like public image isn't authentic. The googly eyes scream, I'm trying really hard to seem normal, but it's all stuck on with glue. That is crazy.
That's crazy.
That is the craziest thing I've ever done in ChatGPT
That
right
is
there.
wild. And how funny that we, like, just a random idea.
What was crazy is how we were all like, ChatGPT is so funny. Look at this dream it came up with. And it's like, help, guys. This is, I feel like I'm reading a testimony in the P. Diddy case right now. Like I feel like
No, not gonna lie. That's weird.
that is so weird. Like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
it's like walking past the animals.
I feel like we need to bring this to someone's attention.
They're like, how do we break? Like, do we start a hashtag free GPT? Like, I feel
Well, now my side job of dream interpretations is done. ChatGPT is taking my business. from me.
Yeah,
do it.
straight
Nothing
up.
anymore.
Yeah.
oh my word! Like, it's like when you go to a pet store and you see the animal in the cage and you're like, you feel bad. You're like, you want to rescue it.
GPT is the animal. in the cage.
It's the animal in the cage.
What
That's
a crazy.
crazy.
Love-
That's so crazy.
It's okay.
All right. Well, you got it. You're running the show. It's time for you to cue up the music.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna cue up the music.
So we're doing a great job today running everything. I have
a music, right?
Yeah. That's it. And then you hit the button, the show music button.
Oh, that's an air horn. I'm sorry, guys.
Nope, music.
Oh, I see it. Game.
Not the that. Oh, we screwed that up. That was
did.
yeah.
So
that's okay. You'll have to be back.
Okay.
And we will.
Johnny, what play do I play?
Because we had I have a whole different thing that I actually wanted to do before she told me about the dream.
Oh yeah.
So we will.
Had to get that in there though.
Yeah.
All
we will
right.
do that.
So everybody, that means what time is it, Johnny?
Oh, wow, I'm doing your part? Hey, it's time for us to turn off all the lights, lock the door, pull the sign. This open house is closed. But hey, there'll be another one next week. We look forward to seeing you guys. For more information, Anima will put the links. It's a game you absolutely should check out. Super addictive. The artwork is amazing. These shinies are great. We're going to go play a game of this. We appreciate you, Josh. Thank you very much for coming in and hanging out with us, interpreting some dreams. And let's get this going. Hashtag free GPT, right?
Woo, hashtag free GPT.
T-shirts and
we'll see you guys next week.
The door is open, so come on in.